Welcome to the WAN Show, guys, the show where our professionalism is your biggest concern, because it certainly isn't ours. Sorry, I'm eating again on the show. I know this is something that you guys prefer that I don't do, but quite frankly, I've had nothing but, like, a cup of oatmeal since early this morning, so...
I had that one taquito.
These are disgusting, by the way.
I know.
Thank you for giving it to me, though.
The best part is, they're not super bad if you cook them in the oven, but then it takes half an hour, and we had 5 minutes.
I'd rather be disgusted than dead, I suppose.
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, guys, we've got a lot of great topics for you today. First of all, our special guest is Kyle from Awesome Sauce News, or Newegg, I guess is the other place he is from. We've also got some pretty interesting crowdfunding news. Star Citizen just keeps on trucking. So they hit $31 million of funding on the 25th, and then $32 million of funding on the 26th of November. So it's still rolling over there. We've also got some exciting new developments with respect to Qualcomm's upcoming Snapdragon 805 CPU. They're making some improvements to the CPU itself, but much of the improvement looks like it's going to be coming on the graphics side of things. I think I already said Kyle from Newegg will join us, so I'm going a little out of order here, but what are your topics to introduce?
We have 24-inch 4K panels on the way from Dell, which are an IPS
well,
variant.
We don't personally, but if anyone from Dell's watching...
Then we should have some. I really want one of those monitors.
Because we're super professional, so you should have us have a look at...
Exactly. Yeah. He can eat by the monitor while reviewing it. If that's something that you guys want.
I can demonstrate the taquito juiceness resistance of it.
Yes, exactly.
Just like I did with the Xperia Z1, where I went in the bath with it on camera.
But we won't go in the bath with your monitor.
We won't go in the bath with the monitor.
No. There's also news that the U.S. military is the biggest pirate of all of them, which is absolutely ridiculous, but not that surprising. Unfortunately. And then I guess...
like, really? This is headline news?
Yeah.
Like, large organizations also pirate software.
My favorite thing is the scale at which they pirated, because they're
hold on. We'll go into more depth later.
Yeah.
First, let's roll the intro.
Yeah.
All right, so we're not powered by Razer comms anymore, so I'm just going to cut that off right there. But I guess that's, like, pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. No, let's get right into the Snapdragon 805 here. So the original articles is from Anantech, so we're going to go ahead and... Really? The mouse is too far. I can't reach it. The original article is from Anantech, so they've got a little cool picture of an adorable dragon, as well as a Qualcomm Snapdragon-looking chip.
I want a pet dragon.
And the main details here is that this is not so much a revolutionary change, it's more of an evolutionary change. So we're going to be getting higher clock speeds up to 2.5 gigahertz, which is just, like...
Doesn't seem right.
It doesn't seem like it should be right. It's like, yeah, we're going to have 2.5 gigahertz quad cores in your phone. To be clear, guys, these are not the same kinds of quad cores that you're going to find in a PlayStation 4 or in a PC or anything along those lines, but it is definitely a multi-threading monster. They're kind of adding more of everything. So more clock speed, a couple small improvements here and there, but the main improvements are really going to be on the GPU. So we're going from Adreno 300 series to Adreno 400 series. It's going to be called the 420 because...
Because no research went into that name.
No, I'm really in the mood for this snack right now.
It's kind of disgusting, though. But anyways, some of the other things that you gain is...
It was a joke.
Oh, wow, that didn't clue in at all.
I know.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, our start time is 10 minutes after that, too.
I know, right?
That's kind of brutal.
It's almost like all the stars are aligning.
Anyways, you get 2.5 gigahertz, like you already said, 128-bit memory interface, Direct3D 11 class graphics, and freaking OpenCL 1.2 full profile. Which
is amazing, because as much as guys like AMD are talking about, okay, we're going to have, like, OpenCL acceleration, and you're going to be able to, like, batch process Photoshop files, because everyone does that, right? You can use OpenCL to accelerate that. On something like a phone, all of a sudden OpenCL is going to make a ton of sense, because think of everything from Instagram filters to...
You'd much more likely be batch processing things.
Exactly.
Like, way more likely.
And you're going to have like these specific tasks that you perform that are going to be able to take advantage not only of the improved performance that OpenCL, that GPU compute can provide, but also the fact that it's going to be lower power consumption. And for something that plugs into my wall, I kind of sit there and I go, yeah, I mean, that's cool, thank you. You know, it's great to have better power consumption, but at the end of the day, that extra, you know, couple of watts doesn't make the same difference to me that it does when my phone's running out of battery, you know, halfway through the day all the time. Actually, you know what? For all the complaints about Nexus 5,
you and Brandon have not been having problems with battery life. But like, all of the internet has been having problems with battery life.
It has not. You know what? I think it comes down to... Sorry, I'm changing gears here. So I guess that was pretty... Oh, okay. No, let's cover the last thing that's really exciting about Snapdragon 805. And that is the fact that it is going to have not only hardware-accelerated H.264 encode and decode, but also H.265 decode. So that means, again, lower power consumption and the ability to enjoy some truly next-generation web content, because H.265 is a much more efficient compression algorithm. However, it does require more processing power to decode it. So if you have hardware that is designed just for that, we're going to be looking at things like 2.5K or 4K streams that can be decoded on your phone without a significant power consumption increase. So, like, thumbs up Qualcomm. You guys have gone from zero to absolute hero just because, you know, a couple other guys were like, hey, yeah, we'd also like a chunk of this mobile processor market. No! Bad!
They kind of did, though. That's exactly what they did, because they weren't moving that fast.
No, they weren't.
And then all of a sudden, it's just like...
They were content to just kind of hang.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you look at any smartphone, it's like, what processor's inside? No. What Qualcomm processor is inside it? Because it's like, oh, well, it could be the Snapdragon 600 or the 800. It could be clocked at 1.8 gigahertz. Oh, no, maybe 1.9 gigahertz. HTC One versus Samsung Galaxy S4. Which one has the same processor clocked slightly higher? Which one throttles less? Yes.
It's true, though.
No, it's totally true.
It's even, like, I was reading an article, we're going to talk about this later on, but I was reading an article on the Galaxy S5, and it was literally in the thing, like, oh, which Qualcomm processor?
Yeah, why don't we get into that, actually? We might as well. And then maybe we'll bring our special guest on right after that. So, this is a rumor, guys, so the appropriate disclaimers, we are not saying that this is absolute news, but it was posted by You Better Not on the forum, and... there's going to be, apparently, like, as if Samsung doesn't already have a fragmented enough approach to their, I mean, even their, I think their Galaxy lineup of phones probably contains more phones than anyone else's
whole lineup.
of phones.
The best thing about this one, too, is there's the premium and the normal one, which you're going to get into in a second, and then there's, like, 4 different colors, I think, of each. So I couldn't get a confirmation on the colors, but I know there's like a red one and a white one, and I think a black one, and I think a blue one.
So
there's so many.
So the rumors are that the average sort of the consumer, I mean, remember when the S4 was a flagship device, or the S series was flagship? Now the S series is like, well, there's a mini one that's like, it's like that, but smaller and also much crappier. And then there's going to be a normal plastic one with an OLED display, and then there's going to be a premium version sporting a metal case and a flexible OLED display, and all of these rumors combined together are interesting, but then there's also the bombshell rumor.
The possibility of 2560 by 1440p, which is like, what?
Okay.
And a 5.3-inch display.
As someone who is getting pretty used to 1080p, I can tell the difference between the Moto X and the HTC One. I can, but barely. If we're talking about significantly, dramatically increasing that resolution again, we're going to be talking about making battery life worse for no apparent reason other than to, you know, have, a measuring contest, an arm measuring contest, third arm measuring contest.
Wow. You almost made it.
I know, I almost made it.
So close.
You know what's funny is I was even talking to Ed today about how, I've seen a couple of complaints lately about the amount of innuendo on the show, and like apparently someone was upset when I put that Bluetooth speaker in my pants and talked to you, and I was like, hey, you're in my pants.
Yeah, well, I read the thing.
Yeah, so I almost made it through that, so I've almost changed. Almost.
Almost.
So the rumor is there's going to be a 64-bit Exynos. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Exynos? Whatever. Anyway, or Snapdragon processor, 3 or 4 gigs of RAM, 4,000 milliamp hour battery. That's going to be either awesome for battery life, or it's just going to be necessary to drive that display. And there's even some vague rumors about a retina scanner, so none of this is confirmed, but big thanks to You Better Not for posting news on the Linus Tech Tips forum. Honestly, it's where I get 90% of my news from these days.
Yeah.
From the tech world. It's extremely active, so you guys should check it out if you haven't seen it already.
That combined with the new Hot Deals section is actually... Hot Deals has been pretty active so far. It's actually kind of cool. I'm happy that it's been working out.
We probably should have done it before. Honestly, guys, we were a little bit afraid that... people were going to spam it, or there was going to be a lot of, hey, I'm, selling, tickets to my friend's play that you should probably go to, please. Thank you.
There's been a bit of it.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of that, but...
We've been working on it.
I would like to talk about battery life on the Nexus 5, because I'm going to film my Nexus 5 review next week. I'm feeling really comfortable with the device now. I've spent quite a lot of time with it. And I think that the issues some people are having with battery life are being mitigated somewhat by the way that I use it. So number one is I'm not a super hardcore power user in some ways, but I do get a lot of incoming and outgoing messages. So because I have a Pebble, and because I've actually just started using Google Glass, although speaking of battery life, the battery is dead on that, so it's sitting over there on the charger. Because I am able to do a lot of my reading here, even though I'm hitting it a little bit harder on the Bluetooth side of things, what I've noticed about the Nexus 5 is that Bluetooth doesn't seem to affect it nearly as much as other devices that I've used. So this could be a KitKat optimization. I'm going to look into it a little bit further before I do my review. But Bluetooth doesn't seem to hurt it that much. Number two is I'm not turning my screen on constantly because I'm looking and reading a lot of my messages on my smartwatch instead of on the device itself. Number three is that tethering is something that really kills battery life a lot for me, and it doesn't seem to get hit as hard when I'm tethering either. Like, the one just burns through the battery when I'm tethering.
But then that one has problems tethering, does it not?
No, it doesn't have problems. It just burns through the battery and runs really hot.
We've had problems connecting to it.
You're thinking of the old one. You're thinking of the iPhone 4. That was the one that never worked. The one saved us that day at the studio.
The X.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of the Moto X.
Yeah, so there's all of those things going for it so far. And then there's also the fact that it has some pretty smart power-saving features. So I don't spend... I don't spend much of my time, how do I explain this? Okay, Wi-Fi networks, whenever you're not in range of them, it can just turn the Wi-Fi off, so your GPS will pick up, it'll go, okay, you're here, I'm turning my Wi-Fi back on. This is a smart power-saving feature that some previous Android phones had, like the Xperia Z1 had it, and I was really impressed with the battery life there, but I feel like that's been saving me a lot of battery life as well, so I'm getting through the day very consistently with the Nexus 5, and I think the last thing is that it depends what you're coming from. If I was coming from the Xperia Z1, which I did use for a while, but it wasn't my daily driver really, I used it for about 2.5-3 weeks. Coming from the HTC One, battery life feels okay, because the One doesn't have fantastic battery life by any stretch. So Nexus 5, the complaints about your battery life seem to be a little bit exaggerated in my mind, but I do have plenty of complaints about the Nexus 5, so stay tuned for my upcoming video. Why don't we bring Kyle on? Are we ready to rock?
Sure.
It's a little bit early. I think we were trying to do a quick show today anyway, so... I
think he said he'd be back by now, so we'll see if he's back.
We have a very secret thing to do after work today, and then once we're done, we are going to be telling you guys about it.
Sounds like he's under attack by aliens?
Yeah.
From 1980?
Yeah. Kyle!
Sorry.
Hey! How are ya?
I'm good, how are you?
We are just fantastic. That is a great picture of you that you gave us for your lower third, unless that was Edsel that picked that out for you.
That might have been Edsel. I gotta commend him.
Are you on speakers, sir?
Yes, I am. Let me change that for you right now. I didn't realize I was up right now.
Thank you. Sorry, we brought you in a little bit early because we missed the sound of your voice from the pre-show.
How about now? How do I sound?
You sound amazing.
Some would say awesome.
Some would say that
awesome
you're... Oh, come on! I was making my way there laboriously. So why don't you give a brief introduction of who the devil you are and what the devil you do and why the devil anyone should care before we go any further into the show here, for those of our audience who haven't heard of you.
Sure. First of all, you probably shouldn't care too much.
He's playing the sympathy card. Duh.
it does really well. You know, I've checked the metrics on it. But I am essentially a YouTube host for Newegg TV, which is a channel for Newegg.com. Great company. I also have my own. Yeah, I know. They're NCIX also. Much respect for them as well. Gotta respect your roots. I'm also a YouTuber on the side. Personally, I have my own channel, Awesome Sauce News, and I can hear myself right now. Hold on. What's going on? All right, I'm just gonna roll with it.
All right,
But
sweet.
yeah, that's what I do. I do tech unboxings. I do reviews. I do what you do, but on a much smaller scale with a much smaller army. It's more of a militia.
Militia. All right, so why don't we go ahead and move into our first guest topic here. So, okay, so you work at Newegg. Do you see any of the sales numbers at all, or are you guessing as much as the rest of us are?
Yes, the latter. They refuse to let me see anything important.
That is awesome. Okay, well, have you heard any scuttlebutt about 290 sales versus 290X sales?
No, actually, not at all. I haven't
Okay.
really looked into it. I haven't really heard too much. I'm kind of in my bubble
Scuttlebutt's a word?
corner.
Scuttlebutt.
That is a word!
I like it.
It means
It's a word
rumors.
now.
I know, but you just said scuttlebutt.
I know, but it's a word.
I know.
It's already up on Urban Dictionary by now.
Yeah.
It's been
No,
5 seconds.
it was already a word.
I know it is. I know it's a word.
Well, you know
It's
what?
just hilarious.
We're going to go to my screen where Chris XLX Cross posted that the Radeon R9 290 can no longer be flashed. Now, there was a thing going on for a little while here where folks were able to buy Radeon R9 290s and with a simple BIOS flash turn them into R9 290Xs. It turns out that this was only from specific batches and only worked with XFX and Powercolor cards. So that was all that was going on. So now 290s can no longer be unlocked. But what does this tell you guys about the difference between an R9 290 and a 290X?
I'm assuming he cannot hear us now.
Did he?
Oh,
Did,
me?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you said guys. I thought you were asking the audience.
oh no, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you and Luke.
Oh, right. Honestly, I think it says they're very similar, and for some reason AMD doesn't want the 290 to be unlocked for monetary reasons, I'm assuming. But I feel like that kind of defeats the whole purpose of PC building. That's one of the reasons I love it so much, is because we're not forced to deal with an all-in-one built console. We like to tweak and tune our hardware, and I feel like that kind of limits that ability.
So tell me something. Have you bought one of the next-gen consoles?
No, I have not.
Are you planning to?
No, I'm not.
Okay, give me your PC Master Race opinion here then. If you had to buy a console, if someone took away your PC from you, held a gun to your head, and says you can only have an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, that's all you can
Why
have.
not a Wii U?
What about
Oh.
a Wii U?
I would get a Wii
I would go with the Wii U.
Yeah.
I'd go with a 3DS and play Pokemon X and Y all day.
Boom!
Okay.
Kyle's a man.
Headshot.
All right. You know what? I guess I can't actually.
Men by Wii's. Wii U's are so underrated.
You know what?
are.
My first all-nighter was playing Pokemon
Boom.
back on Game Boy Color.
There you go. You can
Is that a
still buy
euphemism?
Pokemon.
That was my very
For
first
3DS, not Wii
all-nighter.
U. But still, Wii U's epic. There's some really good games. I don't know.
I agree.
All right, fair enough.
Honestly,
fair
if I had to pick between the two consoles, I would probably go with the PS4. Just because I was a PS3 guy back in the day, and I always had a good experience with them. My Xbox 360 got the red ring, and obviously that's not an issue anymore. But I don't know. I feel like the community on the PlayStation Network was a bit more mature, a little bit on the same page as me, as opposed to the Xbox 360 kids that were always yelling at me for being a noob, calling me names.
So basically, you're saying that the noobs are more friendly to each other on the play. So are you calling PS4 a noob console?
No, I'm calling it a more down-to-earth console.
I see. Okay, so a little bit less rabid in terms of the fanboyism.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to our next topic here. You actually brought this up with us. A very unfortunate man by the name of James Howells has lost 4 million Great Britain pounds worth of bitcoins that were stored on an old hard drive.
Yes.
Kyle, have you invested any money into Bitcoin?
No, but I'm really starting to think I should be.
Is it?
And yeah,
Bollocks.
go ahead.
Sorry about that. I had my stream running. Sorry about that. So, okay. At this point, do you feel like it's a little bit too late?
You know, I think it's never too late. I think it's later than I would have liked to have, you know, been interested in the whole thing. But you never know how much higher it can go from here, you know. So I'm thinking about doing like a Bitcoin mining build.
Right.
You know, maybe for my channel or something like that.
The problem with
and
Bitcoin
trying it out.
mining is that it's gotten to the point where the hardware has stopped getting so much more powerful so fast, and Bitcoins have become so difficult to find that unless you're buying, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but they actually have dedicated boxes. Maybe you know a little bit more. Yeah, they have dedicated boxes that are just for Bitcoin mining. That's all they do.
Right.
It's an appliance, you plug it into a wall, and it Bitcoin mines.
They're built specifically for it though, and they'll
Yes.
really outpower whatever else you can do, pretty much.
I feel like your electricity would the electricity bill would outweigh the money that you'd be getting from Bitcoin mining, because isn't it pretty taxing on your system and just consumes a crap ton of power from what I've heard.
Well, that is the problem that a lot of people had, even at the beginning of Bitcoin, was that it wasn't really worth that much. And I think that most of the calculations that I saw people doing were, okay, here's how much Bitcoin's worth, here's how much my electricity costs, and they weren't necessarily factoring in what if Bitcoin is worth 100 times what it is today, not that long from now. And so that was the thing that kept a lot of people from getting into Bitcoin mining. That's honestly the reason that I actually set up a mining box, and then I was like, oh, okay, forget it.
One, there's a few things you can do. You can join a pool, because solo mining, it can take like a year for you to get your own Bitcoin block.
Right.
If you join a pool, your whole group is calculating towards Bitcoins, then you can get a cut, which is a good idea. And then for two, you can go to, I think it's like bitcoincalculator.com, or just Google Bitcoin calculator, and you can figure out like your costs versus your gains, and it helps you figure out whether or not it'll be worth it for you, because power around the world is different. So there's two different things to think about.
Guys, we'd love to do a Twitter Blitz, so if you have any questions or anything you want to ask Kyle, maybe like what's it like working with Paul, you know, anything like that, guys, hit us up at Linus Tech on Twitter, and let us know if you have any questions for the one and only Kyle. So my Google Docs just randomly signed out for no apparent reason, so I have apparently lost my ability to find our next topic here. And this laptop...
680 Ti, 6GB edition.
Yeah, did you hear about this?
You know what? This is the first time I've heard about it from that list.
What?
Actually pretty cool. My favorite part is no TDP, unlock voltages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty
like,
awesome.
Holy crap, because 680 Ti is like a beast card, and it has overclocking headroom sitting there. It does.
Oh, yeah.
It won't go
gonna
over
break some
certain
more records
temperatures,
with this
even if you
thing.
set it higher. There's
Sure.
like a few things. Oh,
Now, do
I
you
just
guys
got
know
something
if
like
this is a new model that
I know
NVIDIA's
this.
put out, or if this is just a bare bones 780 Ti that EVGA is kind of tweaked?
Well, what I think has happened here is two things. Number one is this has got to be EVGA pressing really hard on NVIDIA to give them the flexibility to deliver the cards that they want to build to their customers. I know a couple guys at EVGA, and I know how they feel about stuff like Project Greenlight, which was NVIDIA's program that they put in place to restrict the board partner's ability to RMA dead cards back to NVIDIA if they did anything that goes outside of the guidelines with respect to power consumption, voltage, and clock speeds, particularly voltage increases on the GPU that would cause them to die. So NVIDIA put this green light thing in place that basically went, look, do whatever you want, but don't come crying to us when it dies. And this is both reasonable and a little bit just kind of kneecapping in terms of what the board partners can do, because AMD doesn't put the same restrictions in place, or at least not ones that are nearly as restrictive. I mean, they're still like, hey, you know, don't do anything phenomenally stupid, but you have a little bit more flexibility. So for 780 Ti 6 gig here, it looks like EVGA has pushed NVIDIA to get the green light on a card that is just going to be completely balls to the walls unlocked. The first thing I did when I saw this is I was like, EVGA, I am so sorry that I haven't finished that Hadron Air unboxing yet. I will do it right away. I need one of these cards. And they're like, yeah, dude, we'll put you on the list. I'm like, yes. I don't think you knew that
That's all
yet.
this has been.
I knew
They're
you
holding
did
the card hostage until you do that video.
What graphics card do you run at home these days?
You know what? Honestly, I haven't been doing a huge amount of gaming lately just because I've been so busy. But I still have a GTX 670 in my rig. It's a Asus Direct CU2, and honestly, I do have like a 770 lying around that I don't know why I haven't installed yet, but I probably should.
Is it Air?
Yeah, it's there.
You have no excuse, sir.
Yeah.
You're right.
Air-cooled
Absolutely
graphics
right.
card upgrade
Like,
not happening.
No time at all.
I know it's really just because I haven't done much gaming at all.
Cry yourself to sleep every night. We're gonna go to our Twitter bits here. All right, guys. So first up, what's your main rig? Okay. You know what? Here, why don't you answer Ricardo here? What is your main rig? So aside from the graphics card.
Okay. Right now, I'm still a couple generations behind. I've got a Core i7 2600K. It's overclocked to 4400 megahertz.
Which is
I've
still
got,
about as good as it gets. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's doing everything I needed to right now. I'm just doing a lot of editing, and it's handling it beautifully. Render times could be a bit faster, but I am planning on upgrading to an X79 platform pretty soon. Have you heard of the Intel? It's like the Retail Edge program.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think they're having a ridiculous deal on the 4th where you can get a 4930K for, what is it, like $190.
You know what
So
else I heard
I'm
about the
definitely
Retail
gonna
Edge
capitalize on
program?
that.
I heard
What's
that I heard that technically you're not eligible for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I already did my time. I already got 10,000 points, so I got the voucher for the deal.
I'm gonna call Intel and I'm gonna tell them that you don't work at a retail store.
How dare you?
I had it for like 6 years after I worked at one.
Yeah, Retail Edge. Well, did you ever try to claim any of the deals?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, that's unusual because I had to
There's ways to do it.
when I first submitted, I had to submit like I guess you could fake pay stubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that a few times.
Photoshop is a thing.
Yeah, Photoshop. So I
There you go.
used to do to
Not
get
that
the
I
deals.
actually did that.
Okay,
Wink,
so
wink.
the first time I did Retail Edge, I did everything legit. I actually went to a live event, so I was able to bring a pay stub and like show it to them. Well, okay, it was sort of legit because I also brought my wife and photoshopped one of my old pay stubs with her name on it so that I could get two of them.
So
she-
you did use Photoshop.
So she actually went to the I used MS Paint to be clear.
Oh.
So she actually went to the event with me and got validated at the same time.
Oh god.
Then the second time I wanted something from Retail Edge, this was back when I wanted before I built my current rig, I always wanted like a RAID card and multi SSD setup because I looked at SSD and I went, okay, this is perfect, except it's not enough space. So I was like, okay, I'm willing to just drop all the money. So I found 4 coworkers, and this was back when each of them was like $300 or something stupid like that, or like $200. Even on Retail Edge, it was like $200 or $300. And I got 4 X25M 80 gigs, I think, or 160s. I don't remember, but it was like my second Retail Edge deal. And so that was the illegitimate thing there, was I got a bunch of coworkers to sign me over their accounts so I could do all the quizzes.
Nice.
And then, I don't remember. I think eventually I just got tired of it because Retail Edge used to be really easy. You could challenge all of the tests.
Yeah.
So if you knew the answers already, which I usually did because I had read the Anantech article 4 months earlier, because it's not like they're showing off the latest stuff on there, then I could just answer all the questions and I was good to go. But now they make you like sit and watch stuff, right?
You know what? That's true for some of them, but I noticed that maybe 3 out of 5 I could just go straight to the quiz and get it over with.
Maybe they've
But-
maybe they've refined it a little bit.
I think like the 1 or 2 quizzes that I actually had to wait to watch that ridiculous tutorial, it was like a 2-minute long TV like soap opera type thing, and it was just the cheesiest thing I've ever seen. And they made me watch it, and I failed the test afterwards because I was distracted, so I had to watch it again. Oh, it was bad.
I got to go to so many free movies because those guys. So many free.
Oh yeah,
movies.
nice,
Because they'd come by and be like, "Yeah, free Dark Knight screening." I was
awesome.
like, "All right, I'll go to that. Sounds good. I have no extra money. I want to see this movie. Awesome."
Sweet.
I'm still amazed how good your MS Paint skills are. I just can't get
Yeah,
over
that's
that.
actually pretty impressive.
No, I couldn't do it. My wife did it.
Not that I did it, but
Even more impressive.
someone, not that I, yeah, whatever. I had automatic scripting things that would rewrite the date, and I could just snipping tool and pull it in. So every single time that I had to change a date, I was just like, bloop, done. Took me like 10 seconds.
I mean, Intel should have some more
New
security
base,
behind that site, knowing that everybody that's applying for it is in the tech industry and is more or less tech savvy.
I know.
Way
Right?
easy to hack into that.
You would think that. You know, the funny thing about Retail Edge is I'm not convinced that anywhere near, like, probably 20% of the people buying those things are actually putting them in their own
Yeah,
systems.
they're reselling it.
Yeah,
All of them.
totally.
If you check eBay immediately after a Retail Edge thing, it's just like swamped with all of it.
The flip fest.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Guys, it's going to be a real good time to buy a 6-core Ivy Bridgey real soon here. And it's always like extreme editions and stuff. So like people get these theoretically $1,000 processor, or it used to be extreme editions all the time. So people would get like 980Xs and stuff like that. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, it's a $1,000 processor. And then everyone would like list them on Red Flag Deals and on like, overclock.net. And they'd be like, $875. And people be like, yeah, no.
No.
And that and there's like 100 of you selling that exact chip right now. Yeah, no.
See what you're up to.
It's pretty epic.
All right, so
How are you guys' Thanksgiving?
we have Thanksgiving a month before you.
Oh, you're right. Oh my gosh.
I'm right?
I'm such an out of touch American.
Yeah, I know. We're just your hat to you, aren't we?
Yes, indeed.
I wish we
Your
could
words,
have.
not mine.
I saw this meme and I wish it was true, where we could just have like second Thanksgiving, like the Hobbits.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
We should
just
do that.
inherit the American
Well,
Thanksgiving.
you know what's funny is it only took Black Friday only started happening in Canada about 5 years ago. It only took 5 years and now it's a thing.
Yeah.
So if we just started this
Second Thanksgiving?
second Thanksgiving,
We're thankful that America
Pilgrims, Turkey.
Hasn't blown us up yet.
Yeah.
hasn't decided to invade us for a second time.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that.
We're
Mind you-
glad that we're America's hat and not America's cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're not going to last
Amen.
long around here on this here show.
I love you guys. No, I was just in Toronto last weekend to cover an expo there, and everyone was very friendly, and I ate a lot of poutine and ketchup chips.
We're from Vancouver, so we're not particularly fond of Toronto either. Leafs suck.
Oh wow, you guys!
You wouldn't
have,
know
like,
that.
Civil wars within Canada. That's harsh.
Yeah, if there was a Canadian Civil War, it would be between like the Vancouver Canucks and like the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and there would just be this like huge walk in between.
Yeah, there'd be like there would be like an enormous ice rink, and then there would be we'd do away with the hockey sticks and the hockey pucks entirely, and everyone would just throw off their gloves and charge at each other.
Yeah.
That would be like the Canadian Civil War.
Then afterwards, everyone would shake hands and go for drinks, and then it'd be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
there'd be lots of
You
beer.
all just compliment
Oh, yeah.
each other on your fighting skills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the beer would both enhance the violence and enhance the camaraderie after the violence.
Yep.
That's right.
Welcome to Canada.
It's a great place.
All right, so you know what? I guess we didn't actually do much Twitter blitzing here. So, of course, I request, will there ever be a GTX 790? We don't know. Okay, what do you think? Hey, Kyle. I don't know if you've been paying much
Yes.
attention to Newegg's Black Friday deals, but it's going to be pretty embarrassing if you hadn't. What do you think was the best Newegg Black Friday deal so far?
Oh boy. Yep, time to be embarrassing.
There's some pretty good stuff going on
Honestly,
at NCIX.
I looked through the deals and I saw like a bunch of little things. Like I wasn't really looking for straight up PC hardware because I recently built a system and I don't need to spend any more money on that for the next few days. But I did see a kilowatt on sale for like $17.
That's not a bad deal.
And- Yeah, and I totally bought one because they're usually $30, $40, and there were some other things like a few toolkits that were just dirt cheap. Not sure. It remains to be seen the quality of them, how easily they'll break.
Yeah,
But,
I bought the iFixit one, and considering the price, I was pretty disappointed with how it's just a rebranded Chinese toolkit.
Right.
So you
That's
never
what
know.
I was afraid of. But I did see we did have a pretty nice TV. Well, actually, I've heard mixed things about it. It's like a Changhong TV. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that brand. It's like a Chinese.
No, we really
company.
haven't.
I thought he was
Huge
lying.
surprise.
Yeah, I
But,
thought you were.
it's
I
like
thought
a
you were
50-inch
joking.
I thought he was making fun of Seiki.
Yeah, I thought you
I'm
were.
not being
I thought you were.
racist at all.
I thought you were making fun of every Asian brand because you can kind of get away with that, right?
I only half the time because I'm only half Asian.
Ah, okay.
The other half, I'm being racist.
Is it like a dice roll? Is it like
Um,
actual 50% random, or is it like specific things?
It's like 50%. Well, okay, I'm a quarter Chinese and a quarter Thai,
Okay.
and then half like just white, just obscure whiteness.
I love how that's a thing.
Your whiteness.
You're a white person? Yeah, what's your heritage? I don't know, Europe.
Probably.
I'm white. I don't have a heritage.
You know what's funny though is in Europe it's totally different, and it is a thing.
Yeah.
Whereas it's just North America because we're this weird like melting pot of whatever culture it all came from. So we make our own culture, and we have monster trucks and poutine.
Monster trucks, poutine, and maple leaves.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's a culture something.
Something
It's like, what are you? I'm Canadian. What's that mean? I don't know.
I don't know.
Half Union and half Confederate. I don't know.
So you might say that you have frequent internal conflicts then.
Yes, all the time.
But only 100+ years ago.
I'm an old soul that way.
All right. Linus, I haven't heard much about DDR4 for a while. It's coming later. I wouldn't hold out on a system upgrade, though.
No. And at the beginning, it's not going to be very good anyways. So
this is a topic. Kyle, I'm not sure if you'll have much to say about this, but I certainly do. OCZ filing for bankruptcy. Have you heard about this?
I know.
Did you see this?
I heard about that. It's very sad.
It's very sad.
I have 2 Vertex 4s in my system right now, and I'm sad that I'm never going to see a Vertex 5.
So are you going to create like a shrine to them?
I should, or maybe I'll sell them on eBay when they're like really rare and extinct.
I doubt that'll be a thing.
computer hardware doesn't really
Probably
seem to
not.
do that much.
Yeah, unless it's like Apple.
Apparently.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
We even saw old Apple iPhone first gens going on eBay for like thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of. Well, no, I don't know if they were selling, but they were listed. So that's a thing. So I'm gonna weigh in on the whole OCZ filing for bankruptcy thing a little bit here. And guys, I worked with OCZ for a long time. This time I'm guys the audience, not guys you and the other one.
See, that's why that's confusing.
I know. So I worked with OCZ for a long time. I used to be the product manager for OCZ. That's going back almost about 4 years now, I think. And there were a lot of warning signs here. There were a lot of warning signs. I mean, there was stuff going on like I'd buy inventory at this price, and then by the time, I would work through all that inventory, not to say that they weren't selling well, they were selling extremely well for a long time, but they'd want you to take so much so that they could hit their quarter end and year end goals and all that you'd take it in, and by the time you're selling it, they're giving you instant rebates and stuff like that are so high that that they lost money on just the cost of the flash chips alone. Never mind manufacturing and customer service and shipping. I mean, they would cover the shipping and management and all of these commissions for the salespeople. I mean, it all adds up to the point where the only way to keep it going was to keep selling more and more and more and more and more volume. And that was something that with the profit margins that they were promising to their shareholders, they couldn't do, because as long as it was fine to take investor money and sell every drive at a loss to hit higher and higher volume targets, it was going to work. But when investors kind of went, hey, you're burning through all this cash really fast, what exactly are you doing over there? Well, they were buying market share, and that wasn't going to fly in the long term. So when it came time to try to make money on the drives, I think what they discovered was that their brand name and their brand strength really wasn't as strong as they had hoped that it would be, and that by that time, SSD had gone from being an enthusiast-type product to being a commodity-type product. It happened very quickly. In fact, I'd say in the time between Vertex 2 and onward, SSD went full commodity. And so trying to release a Vertex 4 and a Vector and trying to dress it up and gussy it up and put, maybe they should have put gold heat spreaders on it. They were the pioneers of putting gold heat spreaders on things to make them sell for more. Me too.
Awesome.
But you just weren't able to do it anymore. And that, I think, ultimately caused their downfall. So Toshiba's looking at buying the assets, which is interesting. I had a lot of people comment on something, must have been Twitter. Really? Toshiba? They're really small. No, they're not.
No, they're not at all.
Toshiba is a flash manufacturer. In fact, you know what's funny is I had someone make the same comment about SanDisk and AData. About they're really small SSD players. No, they're not. They are manufacturers.
Which means they're huge.
Which means that they actually make the drives that smaller companies rebrand. So don't worry, they're okay. So Toshiba is a step above a drive manufacturer. They actually manufacture NAND flash. So they're going to be all right. Do they
make SSDs yet?
I don't think they do, but if they acquired OCZ, then that would be very interesting, because Indolynx's controller technology is not bad. it's good, and Toshiba Toggle NAND is among the best out there. So this could be a match made in heaven.
I like it.
Looks like it on Newegg.
Apparently they do have them.
On Newegg.
Oh, wow.
Out of stock though, so I don't know.
I don't think they've been doing anything for a while. I'm kind of assuming.
Yeah, like is this SATA 2
What
or
is
SATA 3 or
this?
what? No, this is SATA 3. So yeah, they've got one. The HDTS, you know, they could use some branding on this.
HDTS225XZSTA.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, so they need some help.
Sounds like a Leon Lee product.
Yeah. You know, Lee & Lee's this company that I love their products and the quality is fantastic, but even I can't figure out their product line.
I agree. I
Like-
think they'd do so much better if they just had some better branding, marketing, and whatnot.
Yeah, even some coherency to like the positioning of the products. Like you go on their site and it's just like, which case would you like? Here are all the cases.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't know, the
train one.
the gaming one, like
The train one.
train
it's
one.
the best.
I even requested a train
I
sample.
tried to get one, but I couldn't.
Well, more like you couldn't at a reasonable price
Yeah.
because they were expensive.
Yeah, they were.
You know what I actually had a while back? It was a swag item. It was a Lee & Lee dinosaur. So it was like a sheet of aluminum, and then it had all the pieces, and then you assembled it. Like, you know those dinosaurs that you, like, put the ribs on the
Nice.
back of the spine, and, like you made a little Lee & Lee aluminum dinosaur. It was
That's
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I don't know what happened to it, but that was one of my favorite swag things that I ever got.
Did they call it like a 95608? Where you're like, dude, it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
No, but I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah,
they
I guess
were.
that makes
I'm sure
sense.
they were tempted. All right, what do we got
Yeah.
next? Okay, there's a 4K Ultrabook apparently that costs less than $1,400. I think
Wow.
more than anything, that's revealing of how inexpensive 4K displays actually are, and how manufacturers need to just screw off and just give us our displays
I
now.
wonder how well that Ultrabook's pushing that display, though.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle, how awesome is your sauce?
Incredibly.
Excellent.
Incredulously.
Incredulously awesome.
Jeremy asks how to work at Linus Tech or NCIX. Well, at Linus Tech we're not hiring, but at NCIX you could start with going to ncix.com/careers, I think it is.
Something like that.
Something like that.
If not, it's on the. If you scroll down to the bottom of their website, it should be there. I'll find it.
Just spam their YouTube channel and pine for a job. They love that.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah, that works really well. How tempting is it to have all that crazy hardware around you working at Newegg?
It's really tempting, and I feel like I get to purge some of that anxiety that I feel because I have my own YouTube channel, and so sometimes if we're backed up and we don't have time to look at a product at Newegg, I can take it home and research it by myself and shoot a video of it and whatnot. And it's also pretty cool because it lets me look at products more honestly. Whereas Newegg, we kind of sell everybody. We have to be fair to all the vendors, and we can't really do reviews. Because if we give a bad review, then no one will buy the product, right? It's a company, so that's the cool thing about having my own channel is that I get to do what you guys do is be really honest with the product and let them know how you feel about it, so that people can actually make a more valid purchasing decision.
Mango
Like
Juice
that.
Stain asks, what is it like working with Paul?
Working with Paul is pretty awesome. He's just like he's exactly how you see him in the videos. I mean, he's not dressed up at all. He has no hyper-extended personality. He's
What are you
just a
implying
really
exactly?
chill guy. What's that?
I said, what are you implying exactly?
That he's really laid back and relaxed.
That some people do have fake personalities on camera, perhaps?
Well, I mean, yeah, sometimes. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you see somebody on camera and you meet them in person and they're totally different. My old roommate was like that. But Paul is kind of like a no frills type guy. He just says it how it is, and he's not trying to be in the spotlight or trying to be the face of Newegg. He really just wants to share information with people.
Can we go back?
And he's a really good teacher.
Can we go
too.
back to that old roommate for a second? So you said your roommate kind of put on airs when over video. So did you actually meet this roommate over like a webcam chat or?
No. This is a roommate that I had in college actually, and he had
College. You know the
sorry.
stories about what happens between roommates in college. Please go on.
Oh, you're not okay. I don't know who that was. But
Speaking of college roommates.
No, but he actually was the one that sparked my interest in YouTube, I guess, and like what a YouTube partner could be, because he was a YouTuber and he made all these wacky, I guess they were kind of like tech videos, but he did more like consumer electronics stuff and movies and TV shows, reviews of that nature. But he would be just completely wacky all the time, and then you talk to him, and he's like a really chill, mellow guy, and you put a camera on him, and he just puts on this whole act.
Right.
And Paul's like the inverse of that, and I'm probably like somewhere in between being completely exaggerated and exactly the same as I am, because I'm not interesting enough to just be myself on camera. No one would watch me.
So
I have
Paul's
to spice things up.
So Paul's chill enough on camera, and he's the inverse of the other guy. So basically, it's like he got hit with a horse tranquilizer when he's not on camera.
I mean, he gets excited. A new product comes in, and like his eyebrows go up like a normal human being. But for the most part, he's just a really down-to-earth guy, and he's super nice. He's lovable. He's like a big teddy bear. He's like the office teddy bear.
Aww.
If
All
only he
right.
gave bear hugs.
Let's move into our last topic. Now, I know you haven't had much time for gaming lately, but how have you been? Have you been following much of the news about Steam OS and Steam boxes?
Here and there, but I'm not completely versed in it yet.
All right, so check this out. Top War Gamer posted on the forum, here is iBuyPower Steam Machine prototype. Now, the funny thing about this is they sent an email to me earlier this week that was like, hush, hush, top secret, blah, blah, blah. We'll be showing off a Steam Machine prototype at CES. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't say anything about it. And then like the next day, it's everywhere. And there's like pictures of it. And it's like on Engadget and The Verge. I'm just like, okay, is it a secret? Is it not a secret? I don't get. Anyway, to me, it looks like a Wii.
It kind of looks. Are you talking about the white one, right, with the different
white?
colors?
Yeah. Well, the
It
white.
looks like a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One had a baby.
It does not look like a PS4.
It looks like a
A
PS4
little
got
bit.
squished up straight.
No, it does
Yes.
not.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
Into an
white.
Xbox One.
Oh, what? The color is so easy to change.
Color's easy to change. Tell Michael Jackson that.
Good one. I think it is a PS4. They just put better components in it.
They bought a whole bunch of PS4s and they're just like, yeah, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah, whatever. That GPU sucks.
You can take out the hard drive, remember? No, we got this.
Yeah, we're gonna put a better one in. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
I hear you can actually flash your PS4 to turn into a Steam box.
That would be so epic.
That would be
actually.
awesome. All right, so we have some known specs. It's going to have a multi-core AMD CPU. It looks like AMD is just firing on all freaking cylinders when it comes to design wins lately.
That timing.
Yeah, it'll have an R9 270 GPU, 500 gig hard drive, built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, an integrated power supply. It'll be a little bit bigger than a PS4, but still smaller than an Xbox One, and comes with Valve's Steam controller. And all this is looking to come in around $500.
It's cool that iBuyPower
Pretty awesome.
knows that the X versions are not worth anything.
Yeah, I know, right? X versions.
Why do you
Lol.
exist?
Why do you exist?
You're not as good.
All right, so why don't we do a couple more Twitter Blitz questions, and then I guess we'll have to let you go. We've had you actually more than half an hour. Sorry about that, Kyle.
Oh, it's gone by so fast. You guys are great.
Thank
Aw.
you. Oh, you're like
He's so nice to us, then he's self-deprecating.
I know. How do you hate this guy? Because I certainly do hate him. I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
he works for the enemy.
I'll kill you.
And
You're not okay. You don't work there anymore. That's been so confusing about this stream.
Let it go,
Why
Linus.
are you so rah-rah?
they
NCX?
are a competing YouTube channel too, and we still do
Oh,
work
please.
with the NCIX YouTube team very closely.
But you don't work
Once a
for
week,
them. You work
and
with them.
and he called me out on overclocking our graphics card benchmarks.
He did it as well. Oh no, he didn't. Paul
No,
did.
he did not.
It was a friendly poke.
A friendly poke. That is
Yeah.
what I tell my wife. This was not a friendly. Sorry, I can't hold that together.
Dear God.
Are we still live?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we're still live. So why don't we move on? Kyle, do you have any thoughts on the Asus Mars 760, their dual GTX 760 card?
Oh god, that's pretty awesome. I haven't even heard much about it, but I think it's going to be cool and probably a little overpriced, but that doesn't mean it's any less badass.
You know what? That Asus should hire you to do their ROG marketing because that was pretty much
Right?
it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
I'm the
cool.
target demographic.
It's gonna be expensive, but like,
But it's going to be awesome.
but it's gonna be badass. It's like, yeah, there you go.
There you go. I would, yeah, whatever.
They owe me money.
Uh,
I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
I would rather get 2 separate cards or 1 freaking card. That's what I would rather do.
You know if they're going to allow SLI?
Yes,
Yep.
quad SLI will be enabled. So that's a little bit
cool.
unique.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
I would still rather buy one 780 Ti or two 780 Ti's though, personally.
Sure.
All right, so we've got.
Is it gonna? Oh, sorry. Last question. Do you know? I'm just curious myself. Is it going to be on air, or do they have like a integrated water cooler?
It
on
is Air. It's not like the last generation Aries card that had
Aries.
that built-in liquid cooler. All right, so we got some troll asking us a question on Twitter here. Which
Love
of
it.
Newegg's Elf commercials do you like the best?
Oh God. Wait, are those live yet? Are those already up?
I don't know, man. You tell me, because I think this guy is kind of trolling us pretty hard here. He's like sort of a jackass. I know him.
Oh, is it Paul? I guarantee you it's Paul.
Yeah, it's Paul.
Honestly, I haven't even seen all the Elf commercials. I've only seen 2 of them, one of which all of our voices are altered. So me, Jenny, and Paul, we're all in a national commercial that's supposed to be broadcasted on TV, like today,
Really?
allegedly. Yes.
That's
yeah, and
awesome.
I mean, they were so ambitious about it. This was last week, and I think our CMO was like, hey, I want 3 national commercials. And we're like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. He's like, by next week. Like, what? But we did it. It happened. And they kind of like auto-tuned our voices to sound like elves. It's pretty awful. But I think that was only one of the versions. They might actually turn around and if they listen to our requests, they'll use our real voices because they're much sexier.
Wow,
But
I'm
you're gonna
actually
get a kick out of it.
I am really excited to see this because honestly, and as much as okay, I hope no one tells Logan this, but my favorite video of his that I've ever seen is his Tiger Direct commercial spot from there. Have you seen it?
Yeah, they're great.
I'm gonna see if I can dig this up because it is so amazing. Like the level of sellout going on here is just so far beyond like the real Logan that we know and love. Okay, I don't know if you guys are gonna have audio for this or not, but I'm gonna go ahead and screen share with you here. So here we go. Oh, hold on. Okay, let's try again.
Oh, this is classic. You know what? You know what it reminds me of is like those crazy commercials that you see late at night at like 2 a.m. It's like, come down to Crazy Earl's television sets. We got the hottest deals around town.
Oh, I love that. Oh, Logan.
Ridiculous.
Apparently there was no sound. I'm sorry, you guys. Nothing I can do about it right now. But the point is, it's ridiculous. If you search for current Tiger TV commercial spot or something like that, it comes up. But like that is got to be the most embarrassing video on the entire internet of our favorite buddy Logan there.
And you can see the pain behind his eyes the whole time. Like he knows what kind of commercial he's in.
You can see the act of defiance. He's wearing his Raise the World shirt under his sport coat to like be like, look, I didn't want to do this. But they made me. I had to. But
Why
I
did
didn't
he
want
have
to.
It's like Superman.
We worked there.
Worked, but isn't that recent?
No, that's old.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
old. That's old.
I thought that was new.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us. We really appreciate having you on the show.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, take care.
You too.
Let's jump directly into these 2 confusing topics.
All right, yeah, this is kind of a
whack
thing.
load of weirdness.
Yeah. All right, so this is actually from the NCIX forums of all places. I'm going to go ahead and screen share with you guys here. It was posted by Bloody Lunatic, and the original article is from Tech PowerUp, and the rumor is that Nvidia is working on a GTX Titan refresh.
But like, it totally looks like someone just painted it. And I have some reasons for it. Don't those look like silver fins?
No, those look like dark aluminum fins
Do
to
they
me.
look like dark aluminum
Yep.
or shaded?
No, I think they look like dark aluminum, and I think you'd have a hard time changing the texture of the shroud here to make it like more dark than it already was. Like,
I don't know, man. You should see some of the pictures of people painted Titans. That's some pretty easy stuff to paint.
Okay, fair enough.
Like real easy stuff to paint.
Okay, hold on, let's go. But they okay. When we've seen photoshopped cards in the past, though, no one really seems to bother with doing like 2 chops of it. It's usually like 1 good Photoshop or something like that. And they've done 2 different images of it.
No, I mean people have actually painted Titan.
Right. Okay. So you think that this is just a painted Titan?
I don't understand why the hell they would release this.
I mean, okay. Here's, it has a few more CUDA cores. I guess
Like,
if we didn't have 780 Ti 6 gig cards coming, then this might make sense.
Yeah.
Because then Titan could still be positioned as the multi-way SLI 6 gig monster. But with EVGA releasing that Kingpin Edition 780 Ti,
It's like, why does this exist?
we can tell you guys, okay, well, it would have slightly better performance with, you know, its full double precision floating point enabledness.
But like,
But
it's very weird.
yeah.
And it doesn't seem like I kind of I get it.
Okay, so
but
if
it
we
doesn't
had to
seem
gamble,
logical.
are you and I going to gamble not a real thing?
Probably. But
Okay.
like, it could be. I'm not saying it's not, but I just like
I still don't recommend buying one.
no,
So that's a thing.
because it's going to be so much money.
Yeah.
And
780 Ti
Maxwell
is like
right there.
yeah, I've had quite a few people asking me, should I get a 700 series now or should I wait until Maxwell? And the answer is unfortunately the same as it always is, guys, because we don't know.
No idea.
I mean, the thing about Maxwell is it should be on a new process node. It should be at least a strong step forward in terms of performance. But with what NVIDIA's done in terms of pricing of new generation cards, with the exception of 680 Ti, they've just taken whatever's out there now, and they've taken their cards and they've gone, okay, well, this one performs about in between those two, so here's the pricing.
So it
This one
wouldn't.
performs better, so here's the pricing.
Yeah. So it wouldn't. It's not like actually. I don't know. It doesn't. We can't really say.
We could be wrong. They could 8800 GT the market again.
Yeah. They
But
probably won't.
I kind of doubt it. I think that their strength right now in terms of graphics card market share and graphics card perception is such that they don't need to do that. So
AMD's doing real good though, especially with our
Yeah.
9290s. Not 290Xs, but
Yeah,
our 9290s.
290 is a strong looking card. I gotta wonder how profitable it is for them though. That is a bigger die than
Yeah.
7970, and it's selling at pricing that is pretty near what they were doing with 7950 back when that launched. And then you factor in the fact that it is a more expensive board to produce because it consumes more power, and it is a more expensive cooling solution because it kicks out more heat. Like, and it's a newer design, so the yields aren't going to be as high. Like, I really got to wonder if what they're doing right now isn't just totally crazy town.
Yeah.
I mean, R9290, big thumbs up. In fact, we've got something exciting coming, you guys. Our water block for our R9290 arrived. So we're going to be doing water-cooled R9290 versus GTX 780, because those are the closest priced cards that make the most sense. And we're going to get them both to the point where throttling goes away, and we find out what they're both truly capable of. So stay tuned for that on Linus Tech Tips.
Actually, pretty stoked.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that, because up till now, I haven't even... People, it's funny, I get called an Nvidia fanboy a lot, and I get called an AMD fanboy sometimes too. It's fine. On our recent video,
Doesn't it just rotate depending on what card is released?
yeah, of course.
If there's an AMD release, we're Nvidia fanboys.
Yeah.
And if there's an AMD release, we're AMD fanboys. If there's an Nvidia release, we're Nvidia fanboys.
So on our holiday buyer's guide, I had someone asking why I hated on Nvidia or on AMD so hard. And I was like, okay, well, 2 things. Number 1 is that 1 out of our 3 systems had an AMD CPU in it. Number
Yeah.
2 is that 2 out of our 3 systems had AMD graphics cards in them. So out of a 6 possible spots that I could have assigned to AMD, they got 3. So, yeah.
In like the 3 most logical spots.
Yes.
Because I looked over everything.
Yes. So we both agreed on those parts lists.
Yeah.
So if I'm an Nvidia fanboy, then so is he, and so is anyone who looks at things objectively, I guess. All right. So moving on to our next topic, that is, like, what the heck was this one even about? I can't even find it right now.
The Black Titan?
No, the other one. We already talked about that.
Powercolor releases crazy fan design. It's right under the Black Titan.
Yeah, there
you
it
go.
is. Okay,
This
so
thing is ridiculous.
what the heck are they doing? So it was posted by Brown Ninja 97 on the forum, and it looks perfectly normal. Okay.
Until you like.
There's a box. Hold on. There's a box. That's normal.
Yep.
It supports 4K, which is normal. It's got 2 fans, which are normal. Oh!
What the heck?
What the heck is going on here? So we got 5 big... Okay, so first of all, it looks like instead of being a downdraft cooler towards the heatsink, it is sucking air from the heatsink. Okay, so there's a couple of advantages and disadvantages to this. So advantage number 1 is that this implementation can be quieter, is my understanding. Although you're going to have a reasonable shroud on it and stuff like that. Just blah, 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 less turbulence. But disadvantage... whatever. I think that's about the only advantage I can come up with. I guess another advantage would be that it doesn't exhaust air down towards the PCI Express slot on the motherboard, so your motherboard might not run as hot. So it's going to be pulling air from around it and then blowing it down towards your other add-in cards.
Yeah.
Something like okay, none of this.
That's not necessarily an advantage.
Okay. Well, why don't I just say?
Imagine your RAID card was there.
I'm not.
Oof, overheat.
Okay. So. Okay, the other weird thing about it, aside from the fact that it pulls air through the fins... Oh, right, so the disadvantage of pulling air through the fins is that you can't control the directionality of the airflow as much. It's going to come in from around the edges where it doesn't actually have to come through the fins unless they've sealed it extremely well. In which case, they might as well have just turned the fan around because it's the same thing. So then number 2 weird thing about it is look at these little baby blades right here.
Fins. I thought they were like reflections at first, and then I was like, nope. Nope, those are things. Nope,
those are definitely things. So I will be interested. I don't think we have a Powercolor contact, but this is funny. This is the OP's like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Nemo, Finding Nemo little fins on like clownfish. So yeah, I guess we'll reserve judgment on this one for now.
There is also some feature that makes it spin at like basically max fan speed when you turn your computer off.
I am so tired of seeing that feature. It doesn't do anything.
It's gonna cool down.
I had an unboxing I did that someone complained I didn't mention that feature because it keeps the fan spinning after your system powers down. And blah, 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 increases longevity. Actually, it's been proven that it does nothing for longevity. It's proven, it's done, it's put to rest. We've taken that book, closed it, and put it away on the shelf, and then burned the shelf. It's done. It doesn't do anything.
No.
All it does is make your system loud when you turn it off.
Yep. Hooray! Because 100% fan speed is like real loud.
Real loud.
It doesn't usually go that fast, I can tell you that much.
All right, so we actually had a couple Razer things this week. So number 1 was we had the Razer Kraken Forged headphones that we just released our unboxing of. And number 2 is that Razer did a press release about their Evil Genius branded eSports gaming products.
I'm going to let you take this one, because if you saw my notes on this, I have no idea why this is a big deal.
Me neither.
All. Why are people... Okay, good. Thank you. Why are people freaking out?
Well, color schemes are a thing.
But, like... People are freaking out in, like, negative ways, though.
They're freaking... Well, they shouldn't, because it doesn't matter. It's just
is
another box.
So much.
I mean...
For everything.
Here, I probably have Steel... Yeah, there's a SteelSeries 7H Fanatic Edition.
That's my point.
There.
SteelSeries has been doing it forever.
We have
a
Team Navi headset up there.
Blue.
They're yellow.
Well, no, there's a blue one.
Okay,
there's also a blue one.
There's a blue one for... No, that's just a special edition. That's
okay.
not an esports team. Like, this whole sponsored thing is like, are you gonna like phone up Nike and be like, yo, Air Jordan shoes? That's not cool, man. Don't do like sponsored shoes. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal in terms of like, I don't care.
They look good though.
If an esports team, puts their branding on a peripheral, I don't care. I'm not going to buy it. I'm also not going to be upset about it.
Yeah,
I mean, something to understand about this, guys, is that sports teams rely on sponsorship. Esports teams, sports teams, they rely on sponsorship. And while, frankly, a lot of the time, I mean, it's no secret that there are esports players out there that wear the branded headset that their sponsor put on their head and then have, like, IEMs running underneath them and, like, just, like, put the cables kind of down their shirts. Like, it is what it is. If you want to buy real gear, don't buy things based on what someone uses on camera. Buy things based on, what they use off camera, or buy things based on what you can actually try and you can actually find out works really well for yourself. You shouldn't make purchase decisions based on well, Joe from whatever said that it was great. Now, there are exceptions to this. TT Esports has a couple of mice that I actually feel pretty strongly are quite cool. I forget what they're called now, but there's the White Raw one, Saphira.
Because they actually have a lot of input on it?
Yeah, because I put my hand on the mouse and I went, oh, it's made for a big Russian dude. Yeah. I was like, I can't use this because I'm not a big Russian dude. Where that made a lot of sense to me, but rebranding existing products, if you don't feel strongly about the color scheme... Or,
you were thinking White Raw.
Yeah, did I say White Raw?
Saphira.
Yeah, Saphira's the mouse.
Okay.
Yeah, the White Raw Saphira mouse.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're just rebranding an existing product, if you think the color scheme's great, then go for it. If you think Team Evil Genius is great and you want them to get a small commission on the sponsorship, go for it. It's a great way to support someone that you feel strongly deserves the support. That's, I think, all there really is to it. It's uncomplicated.
Yeah, they look really nice.
Yeah, they look really good.
The color scheme is really sharp.
Yep.
It looks really good. I actually really like the color scheme on that keyboard.
Yep, the keyboard looks amazing. Too bad it's not Cherry MX sort of something.
Yeah, no, I'm not into
the
keyboard, but I like it looks good.
Yeah, looks great. And if you like the switches that happen to be on it, then that's like great. The design of the mouse pad looks nice, and my mouse pads are one of those things where it's just like, okay, whatever, it's a mouse pad.
There's differences.
There are differences. I personally really prefer QCKs. I won't use anything else, so I guess I shouldn't say it's just a mouse pad. But if you don't already have a specific...
It's just a mouse pad. I will only use this one.
If you have a specific mouse, if you don't already have a specific mouse pad that you really, really like, then it's worth a shot, because I don't think it comes at a huge premium. I'd rather... Okay, here, how about this? I would rather buy a peripheral that's branded around... You know what, guys? Hit us up on Twitter. Tell us what you think about sponsored branded peripherals. We'd love to hear it, because there's tons. There's ones for, like, Modern Warfare 3. Yep. Logitech did a Modern Warfare 3 thing. There's ones for actual gamers. There's ones for, I think that's about it, but I was going to try and come up with at least
there's gaming groups and there's individual gamers.
That's true.
Yeah.
So whole teams, I mean, the thing about particularly the whole team branded ones is I kind of look at those and I raise an eyebrow, because there's no such thing as two gamers even on the same team. They're going to be like, yeah, I want exactly like that one. You know what? And another thing, to actually, along the lines of gamers who wear IEMs under their sponsored headphones, the rumors are abundant that Yonex, so if you don't follow badminton, you might not have any idea what Yonex is, but that Yonex actually makes special rackets for their sponsored players that have the paint job of whatever the current high-end thing they're pushing is, but are actually the racket that player likes.
That's pretty funny. It makes sense.
So it makes sense. You're not gonna like cripple your professional players that you sponsor by giving them something that they don't like, even if it's a great product. There are great products that I just don't like. So
it's preference.
And I'm not even going to be as picky as a pro gamer.
The one thing that kind of ticks me off all the time is stuff like this. Giving the formidable pro gamers at Evil Geniuses the fastest, smoothest glide to get the last hit on enemies effectively. It's like, shut up. The last hit on enemies effectively, yeah, because the smoothest possible glide in your mouse pad is going to give you an actual noticeable advantage over some dude with a cardboard. No. Like, come on. You're last hitting things in League, like, or Dota, whatever. Like, jeez.
But you gotta look at who it's marketed to. I mean, I really feel like there's this divide between gamers and hardware enthusiasts, where gamers, I feel like, get lied to a lot. And I feel like they're vulnerable to that.
Yeah.
Whereas hardware enthusiasts spend all their, like, this is what I used to do. I spent all my friggin' time reading up about, the bloody sensors in the mice and the, micro, laser reflections on the various surfaces. It's to the point where I actually have no time for gaming. And that's really where I feel like there is room for someone to bridge the gap there a little bit. Maybe we should probably try a little bit harder to do that. Where we take some of these products and try and talk about sort of reading between the lines of the product marketing, because quite frankly, that mouse and that mouse pad probably provides an excellent gaming experience. I haven't used them yet, but I don't think there's going to be anything wrong with them. But I can't
find it, but someone in the chat can probably say the quote. But there's one of the Jadong is one of the guys on EG, and he has a review of, I think it was their mouse mat. And if someone, no, I don't want to click on something during the stream. But, and like the one guy's like, oh yeah, it makes my performance better in this gaming thing, like stupid, regurgitated crap. And then there's Jadong's review, and it's like, well, it wasn't as soft and supple as 10,000 Fangirls, but I think it was acceptable. And I was like, yes! There you go. See, that's cool, and it was funny. And he's like, yeah, I'm sponsored to say this, but here's something funny.
Yeah.
And then the other dude's like, bleh.
Here's something actually realistic that I don't mind saying.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Mark says, I don't care where and if it's sponsored. If I want to buy it, I'm going to try it. I don't care for them. Less stupid logos is better. It's funny you mention that because it's not like it's not going to have a logo on it. It just might have an Evil Genius logo instead of a Razer logo. Just food for thought. I'm not disagreeing with you necessarily. Usually they're not that good and just cost more for the sake of costing more.
A lot of the times they're rebrands of other products, so it's whether or not you think that product's good. They're just
but
changing.
although sometimes they do like add in $5 or $10
Sometimes,
to it.
yeah.
Because I was talking to a manufacturer about potentially doing a co-branded Linus Tech Tips product, and they figured by the time there's packaging and color changes and whatever, if I even said I wanted $1 commission on each one, that would add about $4 to the end user price. Because the retailer is going to want additional markup, there's blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, oh, all right then. Well, it's good to know. Sponsorship-related products are useful sometimes for different color schemes. However, don't like the price premium. I think sponsor-branded peripherals are cool. I like them, but they're pointless. Buy what you want. And that's where I stand. Companies can't sell their product with actual quality. I'm not going to buy it. That's interesting. So you prefer a company to focus on their own brand and sell it that, but
a lot of times they do because it's just
it's still Razer.
Like that 7H. It's a 7H.
Yes.
It's just the Fanatic edition, which has yellow accents. It's still
and
a
it looks
7H
awesome.
though. Yeah, but they're selling you a 7H.
Yes.
You're buying a different version, which is like colorized. So they're still selling you the quality of the brand.
Lots of love for the idea of better color schemes and supporting your favorite teams. Someone says, please lick Slick's ear for me. Not on camera. I buy keyboards for feel and look. Looks good and goes to a team I like, then that's great. I have the Fanatic 7H, but I hate Fanatic. All right, then. But the color scheme on that headset is outstanding, isn't it, Tyler? I think it's a good way to support your favorite teams, even though, okay, Matteo feels that the quality isn't as good as other products. And that is an interesting point because it's going to be difficult with, again, that cost adder that a sponsorship adds to the product.
Oh, you're spending more.
Yeah. So it's going to be hard to take a top-tier product, like a $160 keyboard, and then work in a reasonable amount of the margin to give to the eSports team and have it not become a $200 keyboard all of a sudden, and then it's like, okay, well, now who's going to buy it?
But then at the same time, like, okay, if I was going out and buying say, a keyboard, and I knew exactly what keyboard I wanted, and there was a $5 or $10 more variant that had, say, EG on it, and it was colorized like that, I'd probably go for it. One, I like Team EG.
We have over 6,000 viewers. I think that's a new record.
That is actually really cool.
Thank you.
One, I really like Team EG. Mm-hmm. I like a lot of the guys on the team. In Control's really cool. J-Dong's really cool. Huck's really cool. Like I like a lot of the guys on the team, and it looked so cool.
Yep.
I would pay enough for just the recolorization in itself.
So Christian says, the way I see it, if a big notorious company like Audio-Technica started sponsoring themselves, then I'd be more skeptical. I'm afraid I don't quite understand. John Port says he bought an OCZ Fatality Series power supply, but I think it's the same as the original except with a sticker. Yes. And a red LED light.
That's the point, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The red LED's cool.
Doesn't it also come with sleeving? Does the normal one
That's
come
the
with sleeving?
Fatality 1000.
Oh, okay.
Only the 1000 does individual sleeving. That was the first one to do individual sleeving, speaking of OCZ going out of business. I always thought pro gamers wearing earphones under their headset was purely for isolation. You can get headphones that isolate pretty well. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like Bose Quiet Comfort 35. Hey, Brandon!
Those are really good.
What headphones do you have? QC15s, rather. Sorry. Like, you put them on and you're just like, oh, where'd everybody go?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'll, like, yell at him from the door and he can't hear me.
Well, that's probably him just ignoring you.
No, he doesn't ignore me.
He ignores me. I don't mind that. Every Fanatic Edition 7... Oh, I think that's the same guy. I thought everyone who owned a 7H Fanatic in the world was watching our stream.
Hey, I like Fanatic too. They're really cool.
Yeah, Tiger Woods uses...
Counter-Strike for the win.
I don't mind them personally, but I won't buy them at full price. Actually, that's funny you should mention that, because Logitech always clears out the Modern Warfare branded peripherals for super cheap.
Yeah.
You could get G9Xs for like $29.
If they're
Man,
Modern Warfare
that's a great mouse. I wish I'd bought like a half a dozen of them.
You can wrap them too, vinyl wrap them. I've seen people vinyl wrap G9Xs. Looks really cool.
Awesome.
So if you like don't like Modern Warfare, you can still buy a cheap Modern Warfare peripheral and then vinyl wrap it, and it's fine.
All right, I'm going to let you take this one. Star Citizen cracks 32 million is the is the name of the thread, and then it was $31 million the day before. And the original poster, Askew, is saying, I don't understand why this game has raised so much cash.
It's ship reselling.
Go for it.
It's ship reselling 100%. So for a while there, and why this burst happened, I'll get into why the burst happened, because if you look at the trending, it's already trending down in a second. But why they're actually making so much money is they're selling large components in the game already. And the problem I have with this is that we cannot fly in the game yet. We cannot feel flight mechanics in any way of all these different ships, yet they're selling tons of them, and they're hyping it like crazy. And one thing that bugs me too is they're hitting milestones, and these multi-million-dollar milestones are like, look, more ships that you can buy right now. So they're getting more money, which is kind of bugging me. And they shut down the LTI system, which is lifetime insurance system, which a lot of the Kickstarter backers got. And I think if you backed early enough after the Kickstarter thing, I think you might have been able to get it too. I'm not sure.
You should probably explain what lifetime insurance is.
Well,
you can't lose your ship.
You can't lose the hull.
Yeah.
You can lose like the weapons on it and stuff.
Cargo and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't lose the hull, so you can like fix it back up again, which is really nice. So they got rid of that, but they got rid of that before you're able to fly the ships yet.
Yeah.
So you're not able to fly the ships or try them out yet.
Which I'm okay with. I don't want everyone having insurance. I want there to be like, when I'm like one of the lead Kickstarter backers.
You can't get it anymore.
Yeah, I know.
You can't buy in to be able to have it anymore.
I know.
But no, that's been like that for a while.
I know.
Old accounts have been able to buy
so
ships that
if
had
people want to if people want to, buy a bunch of ships or whatever, and I can blow them up later, then whatever.
But then they'll be on LTI, so it doesn't really matter.
No, the ones that are buying now won't.
Oh, yeah, that's what my point is, though. That is why there was the surge.
Yeah.
They took it away, so right before they took it away, everyone went, but buy all the stuff. So there was this like, oh my god, milestone, oh my god, another milestone immediately afterwards because of that.
I'm still excited about the game.
Me too.
Although we're getting pretty close to, we should have combat soon, and we'll see if it
I wish they dropped LTI like even a week after dogfighting. Because I poured a little bit of money in, and I've been really careful since then. Because it's always, like, there's such a draw. Like, oh my god, that ship looks so cool. Yeah. There's all this cool stuff. But then it's like...
My ship might already be good enough for me once I make some modifications to it. And since I'm just going to be parking it in the back of Linus's ship anyway, while we fly around together, exploring the universe.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, I just...
It's going to be awesome.
I wish I could fly the ship.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm really waiting for dogfighting. I think Star Citizen is still like 32 million sounds like a lot. GTA 5 cost what, like $500 million to make?
I think it was 50 or not 500.
Was it 50?
GTA 5 budget. Maybe it was 500. Hold on. Budget. Biggest budget ever, etc., etc., etc. Someone says cost more than an American city. Here we go. 265 million.
Okay, so yeah, GTA 5 costs 265 million. They have 32.
Yeah.
And this game is supposed to be way bigger in scale. So it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's still not an insane amount of money. So
when you consider
other things. So I'm a little bit worried, but I think dogfighting can either completely make or break it.
And Chris seems like a cool guy.
Well, he's so dedicated.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not that worried.
I had the opportunity to meet him personally, which is kind of cool because I know. Because most Kickstarter projects you fund, just like it's a guess. You don't know the integrity of the person that you're.
Like, I'm pretty sure Star Citizen is gonna be fine, but I'm still kind of staying away from it a little bit until I can fly around. And then I know that the second I can fly around and it's awesome, I'm gonna be like, oh my god. I'm so excited.
I'm so stoked.
But I've been trying to stay away from it a little bit.
Speaking of Kickstarter and flying around, brilliant segue.
Amazing.
MGS Star posted on the forum this amazing video about a Kickstarter campaign that I had to fund. Look at this thing. It is a smartphone-controlled paper airplane. So it's a battery and propeller that goes onto the back of a paper airplane that allows you to fly it around with a Bluetooth Smart-enabled smartphone or tablet. So right now, or actually not right now, because they have busted the Android stretch goal. So at the beginning, it was iPhone only, but I just kind of went for it. I was like, yeah, whatever. This is going to destroy the stretch target. So I'll be flying this around on my Android phone, no problem.
Yeah.
But we just got an iPad mini anyway, so you'll be able to fly it, or we'll be able to fly it and try it out. But I hope they show it a little bit Later here.
On the Kickstarter page, it shows it. a
No,
lot better.
they show it later in the video, I think. Hold on, we'll let it keep flying. But it goes for about 10 minutes apparently, and they're going to be shipping them, I think, in March or April next year. It's not that expensive when you consider what an RC aircraft costs.
It's just a 30. Like it's really not that bad.
And there's not much to break about it, which is really cool. So
Yeah.
the propeller is actually at the back of the plane, which means that if you go down nose first into something, it's a lot less likely to cause serious problems for you.
Although it's not crash proof,
No.
as they claim.
Oh, look at it go. So awesome.
It's cool how he slows it down when it comes close, and then he just takes
pictures.
off.
I know, I love it. So the original article was from Tech PowerUp, or Tweaktown rather, Tweaktown. Gotta make sure we give credit where credit's due. So there it is. So you guys can see there's the receiver. So the transmitter will obviously be your phone or tablet. Here are the electronics, and then there's just a simple piece, whatever this is called, that goes back to a motor and a rudder and a propeller.
It's pretty simple.
Looks ballin'. I love it. 4,400 backers with 56 days to go. It just went up. Amazing.
I love how they like crushed their goal.
I backed that so fast.
I actually had no idea you backed it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, well,
I'm pretty stoked to try
I love
it.
RC crap.
Yeah, I know.
So cheap RC crap that's difficult to break.
It's cool because a lot of the times what's going to get damaged is like the wings and stuff. It's like, dude, it's a paper airplane. Let's make another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
It's like you show up at the park with like a bunch of spare batteries and like a bunch of paper. No way. Oh, come on. I don't know if that really counts.
They could have been.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so guys, Black Friday deals are cool, but it's not worth people dying over or getting hurt. So there's actually a site called Black Friday Death Count, and it's being updated for Black Friday right now, and it seems to be getting worse.
Yeah.
So they record all of the injuries and deaths. So there was I actually remember the Toys R Us shooting. I remember hearing about that back in 2008. Target shoppers step over Walter Vance as he collapses and dies.
I remember that.
20 people injured, and I think it was it was 10 people injured in a stampede back, or 4 people rather. 10 in the SoCal. I remember this one too. That was back before we really had Black Friday in Canada. I was like, what's a Black Friday?
Yeah.
It's like I thought it meant that people died.
Oh.
It wasn't until I worked for a retailer that I understood that it's supposed to be the first day of the year that retailers are in the black, not in the red in terms of profitability, which it isn't, because everyone loses money on Black Friday. All right, so injuries and deaths this year looks like the longest list yet. So someone shot carrying a TV home from Target. There's a brawl, sends 1 police officer to hospital. Virginia man stabbed over a parking space. And you can see the link. So apparently there's been a death now. A teen returning home from Black Friday shopping falls asleep at the wheel, is killed in the wreck. That one I think you could debate whether that's...
It's a little bit, yeah. I would, if he camped out like crazy or something, I kind of get it, but like...
Yeah, just buy things online, hey?
Like, please, just go buy things online.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you saved $40, or even if you saved $400, is it really worth it?
But comparing to online, you're probably not going to save $400.
That's true.
A lot of people have like straight up equivalent Black Friday sales online.
Yeah, there's a lot of great deals online.
Like check out Amazon. There's some really good sales.
You know, I didn't find anything that appealing. I saw the Audio-Technica M50s.
Yeah.
Those were at $99.99. I think Brandon, did you buy those M50s?
Sold out. They sold out.
Did you buy those M50s? Yeah, Brandon got them.
I think they sold out.
I was going to get
like,
them.
Ran out of stock.
I was thinking about it. But
have you heard of what is it called? Outlet Amazon?
No.
If you Google Amazon outlets, let me see if I can find it real quick. Amazon outlets. And be sure to use our affiliate code.
Yeah, Linus Tech Tips -20.
So yeah, if you Google Amazon outlets, there's an outlet on Amazon where they're kind of getting rid of stuff and they have crazy sales all the time.
Really? I haven't even heard of this before.
Yeah.
There you go. Apparently it's a thing. So there's like men's cufflinks, for example.
Yeah, so it's like...
Alrighty then. So moving on to our next topic. Dell is teasing...
Oh, man.
I know. Dell is teasing a 4K 24-inch monitor. Now, you and I have had this conversation before. How do you feel about the 24-inch size?
What, like, why the hell do we not have 2560 by 1440 or 2560 by 1600? Why the hell do we not have that? Because, like, I went out and I love 24 inch. 24 inch is like, bam, I'm there. With 16 by 10, 24 inch, like, yes, like it. But it's always been, like, the best I could get was 1920 by 1200. Because it's like, yeah, there's no high resolution that size.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know it was wide gamut.
Yeah.
99% Adobe RGB coverage.
Check my notes, brah.
That's equivalent to, okay, so that's equivalent in terms of RGB coverage to, they're advertising a claim delta E of less than 2. So this is basically with 1 billion colors.
Yeah.
So this is a 10-bit panel.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Read my notes, dude.
Oh, 3-year warranty. You can get a premium pixel guarantee. Details are unknown for this resolution screen, but if it's like the 32-inch of the same res, it'll be a 0 bright pixel guarantee.
Yeah, it's on there. No, it's they have one.
Holy crap. You know, Dell used to be such a driver of the LCD industry. Remember when Dell was, Dell and Apple were the only ones that had the cojones to release a 30-inch monitor. Dell was the only one driving things. The 2405 FPW is legendary because it was a great monitor and at a fair price.
Yeah, no pricing yet.
No pricing yet for this one.
On their website officially, I looked elsewhere. I did everything I could. No pricing.
Well, basically, I've felt like they were asleep at the wheel for the last few years. It's like, yeah, here's kind of that one we did, and it's like kind of different, but like whatever. We made the ID slightly uglier looking. Sorry about that, but here's some QC issues with revision A1 or A2 or B2 or whatever. This is an opportunity that has been waiting for someone to grab it by the horns and place a bloody order for panels. Commit and bring it to market, and we will show you how much we want it. I am really excited about this because it's one thing to talk about stupid things like that Seiki 50-inch or 55-inch 4K TV. You know what? Who cares? It's 30 hertz input, and on top of that, the image quality, the contrast ratio is apparently terrible. Like, just terrible.
Yep.
You might as well buy a 1080p
And isn't it
TV.
like 30 hertz?
Yeah, 30 hertz only because it's HDMI in. Blah, who cares? So this, on the other hand, yeah, it's made by Dell.
Stoked.
So I inherently trust it.
Yep.
Oh,
I've never had a Dell monitor that I've been like, oh wow, that was built poorly.
My wife's still using our 2405 FTW. I was sitting with you the other day when we found the buy-sell trade thread that I bought by 2405 FPW off of. I left the guy feedback in his thread on Red Flag Deals. That was what, 2006?
I thought it was 5, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so I was like, oh wow, that monitor's still working. It's still on my wife's desk, like 8 years later. It's starting to fade.
I have LG monitors that have been lasting. Like I have an LG monitor that got booted in the screen really hard while someone was running through my house, and it fell flat on its back and like got nailed, and there's just a little crack thing.
Wow.
The rest of the screen has lost no quality and it still works, and it's like 10 years old or something.
Did I tell you Rumble knocked over her 2405? He jumped on it and knocked it over flat onto the desk, just the way he did with my 30-inch. I'll kill him. I'll kill him if he breaks my 279Q. I'll kill him. Mark my words.
I think that's illegal.
I'll skin him.
Wow.
I was so mad.
That's like not okay. You should just lock him out of that room.
I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding.
I mean, if I haven't killed Rocket yet, I'm not gonna kill. He's been peeing on the couch again, not just on the couch, all over the window and the blinds, and like it is such a mess to clean up.
My mom tried to train my dog to like go to the washroom inside on this like mat thing, and that was a terrible idea. And it like kind of worked, but then stopped working, and then it was a mess. She got it a diaper, but it won't go in the diaper. So she puts the diaper on it when it comes inside, so it won't go. But then it'll like complain when it needs to go, so my mom will take it off and put it outside, and then it goes. So she can just use one all the time. It's fantastic.
Chloe.
That's fantastic.
I love Chloe. She's awesome.
She's pretty awesome.
She's awesome. We should totally do a video about your dog.
Yeah.
Your dog's awesome. His mom is like a genius dog trainer. Like, genius dog trainer.
My dog
it's
can. If
amazing.
if you lean forward, she'll come up and scratch your back.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
Thank you. That's
You're
fantastic. She can play the drums on Tupperware. She can put herself in Tupperware.
If you drop money, she'll grab it and take it to his mom. I think my favorite, though, is when you're like, pew! She falls over and she's like... And even if I do it, like, she doesn't even have to listen to me. I don't have any treats or anything.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to our next topic.
And she's a chihuahua.
The U.S. government caught pirating military software. It's like, who else were they going to sell it to if not you? Do you realize what you're doing? Like,
well, they didn't catch them because of, like, too many installs. They caught them because they just, like, talked about how many they had installed. And they were like, wait, what? They're like, yeah. They're like, but you only bought. It's not a thing. So they pirated around $250 million worth of software. They were sued for the total amount and managed to settle at $50 million. Because we're the U.S. military.
And we don't have any money because our government shuts down. No. So sorry, I shouldn't be taking cracks at Americans. I love you guys.
I was more saying, like, they're just so big and powerful that they could probably just be like, yeah, this is how much we're paying you.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, then we'll never buy anything from you again, and you won't exist because we're the U.S. military.
And that was the thing. Like, a statement came out from the guys that made the software, and they're like, yep. No, we're still working with them in the future. So they purchased licenses for 5 servers and 150 standalone devices. They ended up installing it on 93 servers and over 9,000 standalone devices.
Over 9,000!
Just insane. Absolutely insane. Completely off the wall.
I love it. And it's like, you know, the funny thing is the RIAA and the MPAA are going to run around trying to put people in jail for pirate. Like, who goes to jail for this? No one.
Yeah, no.
So...
And I love how sometimes you get sued for this, and you get sued for, like, way more than percentage of worth.
No. We'll settle for 1/5.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's like
it's not right.
Okay, so instead of us buying, how many licenses of Creative Cloud do we have? 3, right? Brandon,
3,
Edsel, and then you. So instead of buying 3 licenses, we should just buy 1. And then if Adobe sues us for, like, pirating the rest of our stuff...
Like, oh, we'll just pay you for 1.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We paid you for 1, so that 1/5, right? That's, yeah.
We're paying a little bit over 1/5.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's all
good.
We got this. You know, be cool. So, speaking of being cool, this is ridiculous. The city of Vancouver, that's where we live, proudly.
Oh, amazing.
Bans doorknobs, which I thought was a joke. Like, I really did think it was honestly, this was, I can't say this on the air, but I accidentally scrolled through it. So the city of Vancouver has amended its building code to outlaw the use of those wrist-twisting devices in all new construction, including private homes. Doorknobs had already been a non-thing in large buildings, but the new ruling, effective in March, will affect private homes and large buildings. However, it will not affect existing homes, so it looks like I will not have to retrofit my house to remove doorknobs. Why? Do we really? And this is from the star.com.
I kind of get it for public buildings. I don't really understand banning it for private housing.
I mean, and the funny thing is, like, people praising it, like, there's a quote from a professor specializing in universal design. That's very progressive of Vancouver. Levers make access easier. I'm sorry?
No, never mind.
Yeah, levers. So I mean, we're not banning having things on doors. Like, levers are still okay. And I will say that, yes, I do indeed think that levers are easier to use. However, why ban them?
It just seems excessive. I do get it for public buildings.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
Accessibility, whatnot. But, like, if someone's like, I really want to have doorknobs on my own house, they should be able to probably put doorknobs.
So, yeah, I just you know,
why are we wasting energy on this?
The doorknob, okay, so there's people saying, I say good riddance, it never functioned well, explains Jerry. I don't view it as a good piece of design. Okay. And then someone else is like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I have a strong feeling about the hardware. Doorknobs are lovely. They're the jewelry of the door. Like, you know what? Everyone just...
It doesn't matter so much that... The reason why I'm surprised by it and kind of like what the hell is why anyone bothered to do anything about it. I'm not necessarily that mad that it changed. If I bought a new house and it's like, oh,
There aren't doorknobs.
that's okay.
Probably wouldn't. My house doesn't have doorknobs. I had to think about it.
Oh, good point.
No.
I don't know if my parents
There
does.
is one. The external garage uses a doorknob.
Okay.
So I would have to not have that there.
Yes, we have at least one.
Yes.
I don't know if our front door does at my parents' house. But the garage door does, just like yours. Does it matter? No.
People freaking out over Google Glass again. Speaking of which, I just got mine. If you watched Netlinked Daily today, then you'll have seen that.
Have you had anyone...
No one's even noticed. I went
No.
to a movie theater with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
No one gave any cares. So it was the same guy as last time, but he's banned it from his diner. He's asked people to remove the $1,500 headset or leave. So...
It's the same guy. You remember the like bar or whatever?
Yeah.
The pub? The same owner owns this place.
Yep.
So like it's not that surprising.
I mean, okay, blah, blah, blah. It's about...
How much the guy freaked out is hilarious. Oh my god, if he doesn't want to lose my continued revenue, blah, 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 blah. It's like, settle down. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think it's
take them off.
It's going to get more interesting when prescription Google Glass is a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, I need you to take off your prescription glasses or
It's
you
like,
can't
well,
come
I
in here.
Can't see if I take them off.
Yeah. They're so uncomfortable. They're like super
It should
uncomfortable.
be detachable. That would be kind of cool. But then maybe that would add build quality problems.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, I think that's pretty much it for this week. Do you have build logs?
I do not.
You do not have build logs. Okay. Thank you guys very much for watching the WAN show today. Big thanks to our special guest, Kyle from Newegg TV. And thank you guys for watching. I think I already said that once. It's a good thing we're not keeping on going because we're going to have a repeat of last week. And I don't think anyone wants to see that. Peace out, guys, and we'll see you again next week. If you tuned in late, guys, we will have the archive up in a timely manner today because we didn't have any technical difficulties. I want to take a moment to explain why the archive takes so long to put up sometimes. It has to do with any technical issues during the stream that cause us to have to take the footage and convert it from variable frame rate footage to non-variable frame rate footage, then cut it back together, re-export it, then re-upload it. In order to not lose an enormous amount of quality in that process, we have to output extremely large files, and because the show is so long, it's really time-consuming both for the export and for the upload. So by the time it's actually up, it's like midday Saturday and we have things to do.
Yeah, and then I can't really make the timestamps below it because I'm out doing stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
It becomes a mess.
But when it can go up right away, then we'll get it up right away. Thanks,
Speaking
guys.
of, one thing before we leave, actually, speaking of the variable frame rate problem,
Yes.
a lot of people have been talking about shadow play lately and been trying to use it, been having problems editing videos like we did.
Oh.
It's that.
Is it variable frame rate
It's
recording?
variable frame rate recording. I think. I've read a bunch of stuff on it, and apparently one of the ways you can fix it is by converting it in programs like Handbrake.
Okay.
But then I have people that have found that that's not really helping and stuff, because if you pull shadow play, if you watch shadow play footage in something like Windows Media Player, it's perfect. But then if you try to edit it in something like Premiere, the audio and video become unaligned. If you watch my Battlefield 4 graphics cards comparison,
that's exactly what used to happen with WAN Show.
Yeah, if you watch exactly. So like,
I wonder if that's it. You know what, guys? For anyone who's been struggling with this with shadow play, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna find out if there's a way to. You know what? Maybe I'll just tweet this out. But I'll tweet out the video that I use as my guide every time. Embarrassingly enough, I can never remember how to do it. But I use as my guide for how to fix that problem. It actually only takes a couple minutes to resync things. So I think it's in my favorite videos, but it's awesome. Here it is. It only has 10,000 views, which means not enough people are watching it. Or here, actually, I can just show you guys what it's called. There. So it's tutorial convert FLV to MP4, no re-encode, and fixed XSplit sync problems. So guys, watch that. It's everything you need to know, and it's completely free. All right, peace out, guys. See you next week.
Thanks, guys. See ya.